Welcome to this month's episode of Best New Balances of the Month. Hopefully you all had a great Thanksgiving last week. November had a pretty solid lineup of New Balances, and now it's time to look back at all of the coolest New Balances that were officially released or were leaked or revealed during November 2023. As usual, I'll begin the video with all of the New Balances that were officially released in some sort of capacity, and I'll end off the video with any New Balances that were revealed or leaked and will be released at a later date. First up is the first colorway of the new Kawhi 3 silhouette. This is Kawhi Leonard's third signature model with New Balance. In terms of looks alone, I think it looks pretty solid. It's a mid-top shoe, and I really like this colorway. I like the mostly white base with accents of black and blue. I think it's a pretty solid and versatile colorway, and I really like that small detail on the side of the shoe with his signature in that chrome plate. And next up is Wave 2 of Teddy Santis Season 4. We got 3 new colorways, all 3 of which consist of a mostly leather upper. Got 2 990 V4s and a 996. The first 990 V4 is in this all teal colorway. The other 990 V4 is in this mahogany brown colorway with a black outsole. And then the 996 consists of an all red upper. This 3-pack of colorways is pretty alright in my opinion. I think they're good, not great. I think they're relatively plain. The most interesting thing about this pack is the fact that all of the uppers are just purely leather, which is pretty interesting, especially in parts where mesh is supposed to be. These are going to be great shoes for the colder and wetter winter season. As New Balance fans, we all know it sucks during the winter time. We can't wear any of our great suede pairs, but these would be great for the winter season since they're all leather and they're somewhat water resistant since they replace the mesh with leather. But overall, I personally think the colorways are pretty plain. It's just one solid color, and then the mahogany V4 I actually kind of dislike. What I dislike about it is the black outsole and midsole. I just don't really like that. I feel like they should have just went with a white midsole with a black outsole, but that's just me. And next up is a new 576 GR, and it's called the brown and orange colorway. This is a rock solid GR for the 576. The 576 this year has had a lot of rock solid GRs. This one is a great neutral tone GR. As you can see on the back heel tab, you get a small dark orange panel of suede, and for the most part the shoe consists of apparently brown suede. It kind of gives me like a maroonish purplish vibe. I don't really know, maybe it's just the picture, but that's why I personally think of it. I like how it's not just a regular shade of brown, and it really brings the shoe together. And overall, it's a rock solid 576 GR, and you can get it for a decent price on End Clothing right now. And next up, we have the Asia exclusive Boro pack on the 580 and 550. I think this pack is very fire. Both of the colorways look great. I personally like the 580 a little bit better. Both of these colorways consist of various different materials like suedes, denims, maybe some nubucks as well, a lot of random stitching accents. It's very detailed and it looks very high quality. The only downside of this pack is that it's Asia only, so if I want this, I'll probably have to pay a pretty penny on the aftermarket, but I might have to because this is definitely going to be one of the best GR packs of the year. New materials, a lot of great details, and overall great looking shoes. I personally think this pack blows a lot of the collabs that were released this year out of the water. Starting off the collab releases for November 2023 is the Kith Madison Square Garden 990 V6 2-pack. In collaboration with Madison Square Garden, both of the V6s take inspiration from the 2 teams that play at Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks and the Rangers. The Knicks colorway consists of blue and orange accents with a mostly kind of like cream white and gray base. And then the Rangers colorway consists of a navy base with accents of red and darker blue. I think both are pretty solid. They have those low-key heat type of vibes, which I really appreciate, and they look great on the 990 V6. And next up is a 2-pack collab on the 576 with The Apartment Tokyo. The Apartment Tokyo is a sneaker boutique in Japan, obviously, and this is their first collab with New Balance, and they're making 2 colorways on the 576, both of which are pretty solid. The first colorway is a brown colorway. It consists consists of a mostly dark brown leather upper, and where panels of mesh is usually found, you actually get panels of gray suede, which is pretty interesting. This collab definitely consists of some pretty solid materials. From the pictures, the suede looks pretty solid, and the insoles actually consists of kind of like a brick wall design, which is pretty cool. Got some co-branded tongue tags, and really the biggest star is that mostly dark brown leather around the shoe, and it looks like great quality. And then the other colorway is called the Agave colorway. Consists of a cream white leather base with accents of dark green around it. It's another pretty rock solid colorway. Overall, the collab is really solid. I really like how it consists of more premium materials and different materials in places where typical materials are usually found. I think both colorways look really nice, and I personally like the brown leather colorway better. And next up is a new collab with Up There Store, this time being on the 1906R. It consists of a mostly silver and gray base. You got mesh, and you also got some reflective silver panels. Overall, I think this collab is a big letdown in contrast to their previous two collabs on the 2002R. This 1906R just looks like a GR. Like, I'm sorry, it's just so plain. The only collab details you can really find is actually on the green insoles, and then even then it's the insoles, and then the insole is actually kind of a special color, and then you got the co-branded insole, but that's about it. I guess you also get the special rope laces with the lace locks, which is kind of interesting, but overall it's a very plain and boring collaboration, and very disappointing when you look at Up There Store's previous collaborations. And next up are two new DTLR collaborations, one of which is on the 9060 and one of which are on kid sizes of the 990 V4. The 9060 collaboration is called the Fire Sign collab, and it obviously translates a flame onto the shoe. It consists of a mostly red upper with accents of lighter orange and yellow, obviously imitating a flame. You also get some black accents. The colorway is pretty fire, pun intended. All jokes aside, I think it looks really nice, and it works well on the 9060. Loud colorways really work well on the 9060 in my opinion. And then the 990 V4 Kids colorway is called the Festive colorway, with the E's replaced with 3's. Obviously, it's meant for the upcoming Christmas season, and you get a bright green base with accents of red. Green and red obviously being the main colors of Christmas, but really a lot of people, including myself, think that it looks very similar to the Nike Kobe Grinch colorway. For those of you who don't know, it's basically this exact colorway but just on a Nike Kobe shoe, so I thought that was pretty interesting. This is yet another loud DTLR collab that I'm really disappointed isn't in adult sizing. I would totally buy this colorway if it was an adult 990 V4s. And rounding off all of the releases for November 2023 is the Beams Gore-Tex 996 collaboration. This is a very fire collaboration on the 996. Similar to their three-way collab with Paperboy Paris on the 1500 and the 920, this Gore-Tex collab consists of a mismatched colorway. Each shoe in the pair have different colors on different panels, which I think is pretty cool. And I personally think it's executed better on this collab since you get more contrasting colors. It's a great mix of neutral tones, great for the fall-winter season, and I think adding Gore-Tex is pretty solid, especially for the wetter season. Starting off the reveals and leaks that happened in November 2023 is the 990 V6 and what people are calling the muted olive colorway. From this leaked photo, they appear to be an upcoming Teddy Santis pair with the boxes in the background, and really the colorway speaks for itself. It's a mostly olive upper that's in a more muted tone. It's a bit darker and isn't as bright as the olive 990 V4 and 998 that released last month. It looks pretty solid on the 990 V6, and we have to wait for the official release date. And next up is a special edition 996, this special edition being a Made in Japan special edition. It's the core grade 996 with some gold accents around it, and of course the special thing about it is that it's made in Japan instead of made in the USA or like China or Indonesia where the 996 is typically made. There aren't anything too special about the materials. Of course, they are going to be premium materials like the suedes and the nubucks, but what's interesting are the small accents and it being made in Japan. So far, there hasn't been an official release date. And next up is the Core Navy 991 V2. I personally like the navy colorway on the 991 V2 silhouette more than the gray colorway, so I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up once it eventually releases. Nothing too much to say about it. It's the new 991 V2 silhouette in a nice shade of navy, and hopefully it'll release in December, and hopefully I'll be able to get my first ever pair of 991 V2s and review it. And next up, releasing on December 1st is a new paddock collaboration on the 991 V2. It consists of two different colorways, both of which consist of the same base. The first colorway consists of a darker purple nubuck upper, and then the other colorway consists of a pine green nubuck upper, both of which consists of a kind of like grayish white mesh base with a gray tongue, as well as neon green laces and accents around the midsole. I think the collab is alright, like there's nothing too special about it. I could take or leave the neon green accents. I think they look a little out of place, but not too out of place that I dislike the shoe. And both of which are very similar to 991 V1 GRs that released at earlier on in the year. They're like basically the same colorway minus the neon green accents. I don't know, I don't really care too much for this collab. And next up is a three-way collab with Jown and Gore-Tex on the 2002R. It's a mostly dark green suede upper with black accents all around the shoe, including the midsole and outsole. It's a very dark and muted colorway, and you also get the thin rope style laces with the lace locks on the top. And of course you're getting Gore-Tex, which is pretty solid for the winter season. And I say it all the time with most of the Jown collabs, this just looks like another GR with the Jown logo slapped on. Like, this just looks like an inferior version of the latest Refined Future Pack 2002Rs. Like, I really don't know how Jown gets away with these uncreative collabs. My opinion aside, these have yet to have an official release date, and they're just leaks as of right now. And next up are two new ALD colorways on the 996. I already did a thoughts video on this colorway specifically. They have still yet to come out, and it's the last day of November, so I assume they're coming out in December. But in terms of the colorways, they're both pretty simple, but they consist of mostly tumbled leather uppers instead of the traditional suede. And you get some small cream accents around the shoe, and it definitely looks like a premium collaboration. And rounding off the video are three new Joe Freshgood collaboration 990 V4s. The first colorway is called the Intro colorway. It consists of a mostly white suede base with accents of black in the end logo and the mesh. The next colorway is called the Kaisha or Keisha blue colorway. As you can tell, it's a mostly blue upper in the suede, nubuck, and mesh areas, and then you get black accents around the ankle area as well as in the midsole. And then my personal favorite colorway of the three is the Outro colorway, and it's essentially just the Intro colorway but inverted. You get a mostly black suede base with accents of white in the end logo and the mesh panels. I think this is a solid collaboration pack from Joe Freshgoods. I really like the Intro and Outro colorways the best. They're both low-key heat type of colorways. I really like the contrast of the white and black on both colorways. I think the blue colorway is alright, but as I said earlier, the Outro colorway is definitely my favorite of the three. And another small detail I forgot to mention earlier was that in place of where the nubuck is typically found, it's actually going to be patent leather, which is pretty cool. So what were your guys' favorite New Balances of November 2023? I'd definitely like to know down in the comments. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials. Check out the Intelligence site for more New Balance content and guides. If you really loved the video, please consider leaving a super thanks in the tip jar below. And thanks for watching.